Hi everyone, this is the Empowered PCS and we are coming to you today to talk about VA offers, give you a bit of a market update going into the second half of 2021 and just letting you know what we're seeing in each of our areas of the woods. So we've got Jacksonville, Florida, we've got the Panhandle and Whidbey Island and San Diego, California. So we want to just bring you what we're experiencing, what we're seeing, and how to get your offer accepted. Welcome everyone, introduce yourselves.
Okay, so I'm Melinda, Kruse, DiPerna, and I am in San Diego, the second largest naval installation in the country, second only to Virginia area, and also a big Marine command, a couple of big Marine commands, and some mixed use. So Christina, to you.
All right, I'm Christina Zimmerman. I cover Whidbey Island, Washington, and the surrounding areas. So we're about 2 hours north of Seattle. And then I also cover the Florida Panhandle, and we have 3 main bases in the Florida Panhandle, mostly Navy and Air Force, and then we've got a couple little ones scattered over there as well. And then for Whidbey, we have NAS Whidbey, and we have kind of joint forces on this base, primarily Navy. So, but yeah, we're excited to talk to you guys. It's been way too long, and I think a lot of people have been watching the market, and they understand that it's been wild across the country. And I think if you're thinking of buying, a lot of people are wondering, A, is it a good time to buy because of how crazy the market is? And B, how the heck do I get an offer accepted in this market? So we're going to talk about all of that with you guys and what we're seeing with our clients and how we're structuring our offers to where we're not pushing you out of your comfort zone financially, but we're making it to where you're beating out those competing offers to get the house you want. So I'll go back to Madeline and we'll get started.
Yeah, so finally, I am in Jacksonville, Florida. We have NAS Jacksonville, NS Mayport, and then for those that want to live in Florida, we have NS Kings Bay, which is technically on the Georgia side, but it's close enough that people tend to live in Florida to have a little bit more city because Kings Bay is small. So that's where I'm located. We want to talk about market update first. Yes, ladies?
Yes.
Sweet. So I would say starting in December of 2020, moving into this early or midwinter, Florida winter is very different than everyone else's. It started to feel very fast, very quick. Houses were getting 20 plus offers. I think Melinda and I were talking about it just before we started recording to say that, we wrote a bunch of offers in that winter period, and now it's starting to cool just a little bit. So in Jacksonville, we're seeing that a house that might have gotten 10 offers 2-3 months ago is now starting to get 4 or 5. They're still good offers, but 4 or 5, which means from a buyer perspective, we totally have a competitive route here because 4 or 5, we can deal with 4 or 5. No big deal, right? Melinda, what are you seeing?
It's interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking all the different stories and all the different buyers, many of them VA that I was able to help in the last year. And we were talking, Madeline, how things just almost with the switch turned. We thought the market was hot and difficult and crazy in 2020. And then in 2021, what I was telling Madeline is that I started tracking how many offers I wrote versus how many were accepted, because I used to, even in 2020, we talked about here, I'd get 98, 99% of our offers accepted because that's part of what we do is we write really good offers. And then I'm looking at my board. I wrote 45 offers so far in 2021 that I remember to track, and we've had 12 accepted. And 11 of those closed. One didn't close because of health reasons, but all the rest of them closed. So it's fascinating. But like what she said, it's changing. Mm-hmm. So and it's funny. What we were talking about right before camera was, for us, we went down to as little as 2 weeks of inventory, meaning and our average time on market down to I think 6 or 7 days, and that's from the time it goes active to the time it goes pending, which means that there's 3 days of negotiations in the middle anyway.
Right.
So you really had 24 to 48 hours to get in to see a home if you could get an appointment. Now we're not having trouble getting the appointments. 15 minutes to buy the house of your dreams, to spend $500,000 and plus. But now, so it feels like the market, and the press is starting to say the market's slowing, the market's slowing. Well, it's still an extreme seller's market. I think, like you said, we can handle, the three of us, we can handle 5 offers and competing with that. It's when you have, I think the worst I had was 42. Okay, that's when it's like, are we even going to get a response? Or I had homes, I could not get appointments to show my clients.
Like Jacksonville, I think the most I've gone up against is 26, but we're a little bit of a smaller market than you guys are. And by a little bit, I mean a significantly smaller market than San Diego.
Well, we have more people, we have more houses, you know, it's the conundrum. Yeah, we're getting more inventory, but they're getting sucked up right away.
Yeah. So 2 or 3 days, I mean, for a contract, Christina, is that what you're seeing in Whidbey?
For a contract to get,
well, like you got 2 or 3 days to see it, then we negotiate.
Yeah, so what we were seeing was it definitely slowed down around the holidays, and then January hit and it just went gangbusters. And it was like January, we were seeing offers coming in, and I'm talking about median priced homes. So where most military families would be in price range for Whidbey would be like 350 to 450. So back in January, anything in that price range, we were seeing offers coming in around, probably I'd say 3 to 5 offers coming in and going about 30,000 over asking. February to March, they were going about 60,000 over asking. And then end of March until about 3 weeks ago, it was like, throw a number out there. What number do you want to? I mean, we were getting offers 100,000 over asking, and it just got wildly out of control. And the market, it was just insane. I mean, over 10 offers on every property. And the Panhandle is definitely as busy. I would say we're seeing more to like 3 offers on properties going about 10 to 15,000 over, but it's a different price point there as well. You know, 250 to 350.
Right.
And, I mean, my business partner down there, Noelle, on one of her listings, she had 28 offers at one point. So it's pretty much the same. I'm sure you guys have heard from your referral partners across the country. Yeah. For the most part, there's only a handful of places that aren't seeing that kind of activity. And I think what's driving it for both areas that I cover is a lot of people are able to work remotely, and a lot of people don't want to be in big cities anymore. And both areas that I cover are very rural. So not only are we getting military buyers, which we've always had in those areas, but all of a sudden we're getting people from New York and New Jersey for Florida, and then California too, and then Washington, tons from San Diego and Seattle and other big cities, because, you know, we're still close to Seattle, but we're very small town feel, and people want that. So any properties that have land are just, it's a bidding war every time. So it's been pretty wild.
I feel like we should note that it's the end of July 2021. So if you're watching this video in the future and we're talking about 3 weeks ago, right around the beginning of July is when we started slowing down. We're not indicating doing this. We're just saying that the market's slowing down, which could be we're getting more inventory. It could be that some buyers have sort of gotten tired of the process and they're just going to wait a year, which is, I've had quite a few buyers that they're just like, well, now's not the time. We'll wait. And to talk about inventory a bit, in Jacksonville, we usually see about 9 to 11,000 homes on the market if you just randomly look at MLS one day and see how many are active. But if you look at a map of Florida, this is going like down to Daytona, west to like McClinney and the Georgia line. It's a significant northeast corner of Florida has 9,000. Right now we have like 2,600. So that gives you an idea of where we are. We used to have less than 2,000 about a month or two ago. So we've got, you know, that's 700 more sellers that said, oh, it's a great seller's market. We should get in on this game. And if enough people say that, it starts to even out a little bit.
See, and I usually look at it from like a daily perspective when I check the hot sheet on the MLS to see what listings have come on. Back before COVID, we would get, I don't know, 50 to 75 listings a day for Whidbey Island and the surrounding areas. And now Monday through Wednesday, we'll maybe get 2 a day. And then Thursday, it's our big day and we'll get like 25. But if you look at how many buyers each of us are working with, I mean, just talking with other agents, I have 9 active buyers I'm working with. And anyone that comes to me for 350 and under, I've had to tell them, honestly, it's going to be a waiting game because there's literally nothing in that price range. So, and what does come up in that price range won't go VA. So, it's pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah.
A lot of really interesting things have happened. You talk about that waiting game, and unfortunately something, we just went over these numbers yesterday for San Diego. Year over year, you've got to hear two things. One, the median for single family homes is $875. Median, that's up 27% year over year.
Our market is up 27% too, which is just outrageous. I remember a couple of years ago an appraiser talking to me about Florida, and he's like, I can't believe values are up 9%. I mean, that's just such a huge jump. And I always remember that conversation because here it's 27. It's like, it's just wild.
So what's happened to our military buyers? You talk about median price point. I used to be able to get you a single family home. Even a year ago, I could get you a single family home for $600 to $700. And now I can't. And so they would go to the next county over, to an area called Temecula, especially if they were stationed in the northern half of the county. And now I can't even get you there because their median's up over that. So the median for attached is 552 this month. And so what's fascinating though, Christina, you talked about how, and you hear the press, especially being California, everyone's leaving,
right?
And everyone's
leaving
the big cities. What's fascinating is San Diegans are going to Washington, some to Florida, but people from LA and San Francisco are coming to San Diego because we're lower cost and we're a higher quality of life. And they're doing the same thing though. That's coming to that's your market, and that is they're bringing their cash with them. And then the regular working people at San Diego wages aren't able to get in. That's where you get a 25% or 27% price increase.
Yeah.
Other people coming in. All hope is not lost, but it's definitely challenging. And I think specifically for our military personnel, it's challenging. And we've had to be more careful. I have had to advise, you know what, you're only here 3 years. You're not going to be here another round of duty. You're able to get on base housing with those schools, go for it.
Yeah.
It's sometimes, especially if it's going to take us 3, 4, 5 months to get in, then that makes sense.
And that was a quick market update from July of 2021. In order to learn how to get your VA offer accepted, check out our next video.